It's Friday, time for another weekly update. On Wednesday, County Commission passed the FY 2021 budget with an amendment to give the sheriff's officers, those working patrol and at the detention facility, a $1,500 bonus in December. Because of that move, we'll have to pull another $1 million out of the county's undesignated fund balance. It's important to support the sheriff's office, especially when law enforcement is under attack around the country. Last year, my budget included a 6% raise for officers. That's the largest in county history. For this year, Sheriff Spangler had proposed to me that he pull some money out of a fund balance that he had, but we were concerned that that money would be there towards the end of this year. So I proposed to the sheriff that we give the officers a $750 bonus that was coming out of additional monies from the state. It seemed as if everyone was on board, but at the last second, Commission moved to double that amount. I have no plans on vetoing that measure, but I am concerned that the money will not be there. These are unprecedented times. While many of our employees are working harder than ever, especially in the health department and in solid waste, we have frozen salaries across the board in the county because we don't know what our revenue picture is going to look like, and we must be prepared for anything. As I told Commission, this is a working budget, and we expect to amend it a number of times throughout the year. We would prefer that these amendments are positive based on more revenue than we expect, but we can't be sure. We must also be cognizant that many folks in the private sector are suffering financially. I certainly understand the outrage when the public hears about government workers getting raises and bonuses. So more than ever, Knox County must be a good steward of public money, and we must continue fiscally conservative policies. Expectedly, we have seen a spike in the numbers of COVID-19 active cases in Knox County. We knew this would probably happen as we reopened and people got out more. It's unrealistic to think that we were ever going to stomp out the virus. Our goal should be to try to limit the damage it causes as it spreads. So we have to focus on hospitalizations and deaths. We have seen an uptick in the number of hospitalizations, but thankfully, the number of deaths has remained unchanged for weeks. Nationally, over 40% of COVID-19 deaths have occurred among residents of nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and other long-term care facilities. So it is especially important that we keep these folks safe. Thanks to the facilities in Knox County, who along with help from our health department, are doing just that. Remember, practice good personal hygiene. Be aware of physical distancing recommendations. Wear a mask if you feel the need. And most importantly, stay home if you're sick. There's been a lot of talk lately about Pinkman's Point. That's the rock at Meads Quarry located in the non-swimming area near the kayak launch. Despite the posted warning signs, people still jump off the boulder, resulting in lots of injuries over the years. Tragically, a teenager recently drowned in that area. This week, we installed a permanent fence around the rock, and we are in talks with Engineering and Public Works and Parks and Rec about the possibility of removing it altogether. I am on record as saying that I believe the bust of Nathan Bedford Forrest should be removed from the state capitol and placed in a museum. However, I believe this action should follow a lawful process. What we are seeing around the country with mobs toppling statues is completely unacceptable. First of all, it's vandalism and destruction of property, pure and simple. Second, while the debate about who should hold places of honor and distinction in our society are constructive, like any other country, we have a unique history. In some cases, we should celebrate our heritage and contemplate the triumphs and victories of great men and women. In other cases, we need to be reminded of our painful episodes, tragedies, failures, human weakness, and frailty. In almost all cases, every historical figure is a mix of all of that. In the words of Judge Andrew Napolitano, when a statue is erected to a historical figure, the erection is a statement about the balance of the person's life worth. It is not a claim of perfection. Judge Knapp goes on to say, pretending that these figures never existed or eradicating the memory of the good they performed will continue the march toward a false sense of place, one that is not based on what was, but on what the folks in power wish had been. That is a self-delusion that escapes reality. We must live in the real world, where bad men did good things and good men did bad things. And intelligent people recognize this. George Washington and Thomas Jefferson did some terrible things. They held opinions and beliefs that today we find abhorrent. But without them and people like them, America would have never come into being. Western democracy may have never come into existence. Keeping in mind that they were flawed humans, instead of tearing them down, both figuratively and literally, we should build on the legacy they left us. Finally, a big shout out to Augie, a resident of Oakland, Tennessee, and the world's oldest golden retriever. Augie turned 20 this week. Happy birthday, girl. Until next Friday, I hope everyone has a great week.